Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of This My Podcast. It's Friday night, so you know we're live. I'm hanging out with my friends Kevin and Eric. What's up, guys? How you doing tonight?
Not bad. How about you?
Well, we'll see. Depends on what kind of messages we get about the echo problem, if there is an echo problem. You know, we're constantly running on, cross our fingers and pray mode at this point.
Now that you mentioned that, there is definitely echo. But I think I get echo in the room too.
Yeah, I'm gonna blame you. When in doubt, blame Eric.
So I think it's double the echo.
Yeah. Blame us again.
Well,
sure, our everyone listening on Facebook and Twitch will let us know if there's an echo. It's hit or miss. I've been trying to figure it out. I figured it out last. I just had to take everybody else off screen. So I'd rather not do that if necessary. But whatever. We'll as we go. So this has been a crazy week for me, guys. I'd say that I've been watching all these sporting events that I got to watch Eli's retirement, but this has been a shit week for Pierce Base Camp 2 here. Not only did my recliner break, my television died, so I have no television whatsoever.
Oh, no.
I am, it was a sad spot. So it's
That's bad for business.
Yeah.
That's bad for business, man.
It is way bad for business. And Eric, I'm going to need your help. Maybe I got some issues with audio that you might be able to let me know what I'm doing wrong, because I can't figure it out for the recording it. Some sound issues. I'll send you a file. Maybe you could tell me how to fix it. But I'm at a loss.
What?
Anyways,
Can you describe the issue? Not realist.
Yeah. So here's the deal. So when I play it on through Audition, my mic and only my mic, and I've tried 4 mics, sounds almost like when you slow it down, when you slow audio down, it's got that. My name's Matt Pierce. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh wow!
And I can't figure out how to fix it. I've even tried using different software.
I think that'd be. I think it'd be less of an audio processing issue and more of a application issue.
That's what I thought, but it's been.
I don't know how I'd process.
That's what I thought, but I've used 3
applications. You tried like unplug.
Oh, did you just IT me? Did you try unplugging it back in? Oh man.
Yeah, I did.
That's why I invite Eric for the most unreasonable shit possible. Did you try unplugging it? Yes.
All
right, it's a big deal.
Yeah, send it my way. I'll give it a listen.
Worst case, I can
give it a listen.
There's a fix because it sounds fine everywhere else, so I have a fix. It just takes longer than significantly longer than I. Anyways, let's jump into it today, guys. So a lot going on, but right off the bat, I think Eli's retirement is something we need to talk about. Listening to the radio stations, and there's the whole battle coming out about is Eli Hall of Famer or not. But I was surprised he retired. I'm not surprised he's done with the Giants, but I was surprised that he retired. Eric, let's get your thoughts on this first.
I guess I don't know. I am surprised. I'm not surprised he retired. I mean, he was a quarterback who was I'm pretty anti-Eli. He was a true competitor throughout his entire career. Got to give him that. Always his heart out. And I don't think any true competitive great quarterback wants to ever sit on I just look at Eli Manning. Who would have started Eli Manning in the NFL outside of the Giants? Like absolutely no one. I think he wanted to play as a backup. So I think that retiring made a lot of sense for him.
I don't think a team like Tampa would have used him as a bridge.
No, because I Jameis Winston is, even with all the flaws Jameis Winston has, better than Eli Manning. And Eli Manning, let's not forget, has had problems with turnover 3 or 4 years of his career. And the problem with Eli is that his arm shot. So I don't know, man. I don't see anything in the NFL giving him, kind of a second shot as a starter.
Fair enough. What about you, Kev? What are your thoughts on Eli and his career?
I mean, I think he should retire years ago. But I agree. I don't think anybody else would have picked him up to start him. So, I mean, I could see even Tampa Bay. I think Phillip Rivers is going to go there, even though Jameis Winston's going to be back there. So, retiring. And, the whole Hall of Fame, that kind of shocked me. Because, I mean, I don't like him, but he's going to make Hall of Fame. He's going to be a first Hall of Famer. I don't think he is one, but he's going to be one. When you have the last name Man, you get a lot of stuff you shouldn't have got in this place. So he's got that going for him. He'll be a first ballot Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I got to admit, I was actually surprised.
I would agree.
Go ahead, Eric.
I agree. I would agree with Kevin that I think Eli's going to end up being a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, if I were all of a sudden, somehow, if my career took off drastically in the next 2 to 3 years and I'm in the Pro Football Writers Association of America, I would not be voting for Eli Manning first ballot Hall of Famer. In fact, I've been pretty vocal the last days. I'm not even sure if he's a Hall of Famer because if you look at Eli Manning, outside those 2 Super Bowl runs and 2 incredibly impressive playoff runs where he beat, yes, one of the greatest playoff teams of all time, he was just an incredibly average quarterback. He never made an All-Pro team. He was never a top 5 quarterback in the NFL throughout his career. And there's something to be said for he was great at being there for every game. He was a good average quarterback that the Giants never had to worry about. But in the end of the day, not the Hall of Average, it's the Hall of Fame. I just don't think he had a Hall of Fame career.
I was kind of up and down because I've been on the other side. I've been on the side that he was a Hall of Famer. And then I heard some arguments today on the radio that was it Dion that brought it up? But basically saying that the Hall should be for the elite of the elite, and that even if that means, occasionally we put anybody in a year, that it should only be for people who truly change the game or shape the game to what it is. And I definitely don't think if you use that as your checking point, I think Eli gets in. I don't think he should get in. I think he was a very good quarterback, borderline great. He had like you said, he had a couple of really seasons, beat the Patriots a couple times. He's got a couple of rings, and that's phenomenal. But I don't think that's in at this point. I think my mind has changed on Eli.
The 2 Super Bowls alone is be what gets him. Well, outside of fame, those 2 Super Bowls is going to be what gets him into fame.
But it shouldn't, though. I guess is what winning a Super Bowl should not get you in.
That's kind of like the baseball. Baseball
I think
fluctuates every year.
What I think changes it is the fact that it was against Patriots. And what writers are going to say is that Eli Manning, without Eli Manning, the Patriots, I was thinking about this earlier today, and I've kind of been back and forth like you have, Pierce, with this whole Eli Manning Hall of Fame debate thing. It's crazy to think, if Eli Manning doesn't exist, the Patriots never lose a Super Bowl in the 20th century. They never lose a Super Bowl.
But you can't even.
Only 2 Super Bowl losses came to Giants, and I think that writers are going to look at that and say that's what constitutes him as a Famer. Not only, I think if it was against, say, the Steelers, no offense, and the Broncos, I don't think he'd make it in. But because it ends this all-time dynasty that the Patriots are, I think that's what's going to influence a lot of writers on why he gets it.
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around it. It doesn't, like, I don't know, like I said, my opinion has been changed. I think I'm kind of hard stuck in it now that I don't think, Eli didn't make that catch, which was a mirror catch, right, in that first Super Bowl. And I would say that he had an average game in that game.
Well, you got to think both of those catches, the two catches in both of the Super Bowls that set them up were horrible throws that were made. Had wide receivers amazing catches because Mario Manningham, second Super Bowl, made the over-the-shoulder ball that was just horrible thrown because when you have a quarterback that closes his eyes before
I think the Manningham throw was good. I think the Manningham throw was Eli's throw ever. But I completely agree with Kevin. Like that the helmet catch is a play that may never happen again, and you could draw that up more perfectly. It was really a jump ball that David Tyree did all the work for.
Yeah, I mean, you got until he makes the catch, he's a no-name, makes one big play. That's the only reason we know his name receiver. If it's not for that, no one knows who David Tyree is. And still, like that throw and Manningham throw, when they show him, closes his eyes and just lobs the ball. Like, he has no idea where he's throwing the ball. So that's how I say it's not a good throw. If it wasn't for Manningham making a play, the ball's going out of bounds. So I mean, it's like if it wasn't for outside of those two things, if it wasn't for the Giants and awesome defense both of those years, blown out in that game because their offense was not that good. Those were both low-scoring games. So if they didn't have a good defense, those games aren't even close.
I mean, come on, Kevin. You close your eyes and pray. Why shouldn't Eli?
Well, you at least throw it so you actually have an idea of throwing it, then you pray. You don't just close your eyes and, like, pray, sweet baby Jesus, put this near a freaking Giants receiver.
That's fair. Well, it's definitely, I think this is like taking shape now. This is a huge change next year across the league when it comes to quarterbacks. You know, you think about Phillip Rivers he moved his entire family to down to Florida. So that's pretty much a guarantee that he's not going to be back in San Diego. We all know how important being close to his family is. It's important that he didn't move to Los Angeles. You know, he took the trip every day. It was like a 2-hour, I think, one-way trip every day to practice in meetings and things. So having family close to him is extremely important. So there's no way he's going to leave them before he goes back to San Diego to play. So if he's playing, I think, you know, Eric did earlier, maybe it was you, Kevin, but I think, I can see him in Tampa. Hell, like, honestly, what Florida team couldn't you see him at? Miami could definitely use him. What, Jacksonville? I mean, maybe they're going to go with Dew.
I think the Jags put out some statements, and it sounds like pretty pot committed to. It would make sense just because of the fact that Nick Foles making so much money. I think they're going to run it with those two again next year, and Minshew's going to be the start unless someone offers them a deal for Foles and takes away most of his salary. They can, like the way Foles' contract is, they basically cannot cut him right now. But I get your point. I think Tampa, if we're talking about where Phil Rivers is going to go in Florida, I think Tampa's really kind of the only option because also earlier this week, the Miami Dolphins said they are expecting to bring Ryan Fitzpatrick back, and it sounds like they're going to go with a rookie and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick just never dies. I love that guy. Ever since Buffalo, I've loved that guy.
Yeah. This was a point I heard on another NFL podcast I listened to on the NFL podcast yesterday. Like, Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but if you ask any coach, who would not want to have a Ryan Fitzpatrick on your team? He is just one of the greatest kind of stop-back teammate, enough to make your team watchable, but not quite good enough to win you championships, quarterback of all time.
Yeah, no, I think that's extremely accurate. He's hell to watch. He's going to at least make for some entertaining games throughout the year. Which the thing is, Miami actually finished pretty strong. Look at how they ended the year. And beating New England. I think that it's going to be an interesting year. I'm actually very ready for this year to be over with. I know we Pro Bowl. I think it's going on tomorrow. Or is it Sunday? This Sunday, is the thing. Speaking of
Sunday,
yeah, that stuff needs to change. Like the Pro Bowl, I don't care if it's on a Sunday because no one watches it. The Super Bowl absolutely needs to get changed to Saturday. The fact that the biggest holiday of the year.
No, that's dumb.
Why is it dumb, Eric?
Because
you making me watch your fucking ceiling is dumb, but I do.
Super Bowl Sunday. If anything, they should make the day after the Super Bowl a national holiday, which I've been campaigning for forever.
It's so easy to move it to Saturday. There's just no reason.
NFL is Sunday. That's why you can't move it to Saturday.
Yeah, Kevin's
I'm a
right.
firm believer
the brand is Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer for college football, the championship should be Saturday, not on Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. That I agree. And I know you're going to say that's because Illinois plays on Saturdays. Yeah, I knew you were going to go there. I'll agree with you. It should definitely be on. Playing like that game on Monday is ridiculous. Playing the Super Bowl on a Sunday is ridiculous. It is such a huge day to go out and party. I hate to agree with Eric. I've agreed with him a handful of times today. But yeah, make that shit a national holiday.
I agree with that, but you can't move it to Saturday.
Pierce, I don't want to disrupt. I'm gonna actually try this on my computer. So I'm gonna exit out of here and
you do you, boo.
If not, just jump back in on this. Okay. I do want to try this on my computer, maybe just this week.
All right. And there goes Eric. Bam. 1 down, 7 to go. So while he's gone, I don't know how if he has an opinion, but so with the AB situation worse and worse by the day, crime in the AFC North is running high. Obviously you got Antonio Brown, but then today Kareem Hunt decides to go and do a Cleveland Browns thing, piss all over ladies here. See if we can get Eric back in here. No, his computer's not going to work, I don't think. That's the vibe I'm getting. Because I just let him back in. Well, might have to come back phone, Eric. Yeah, that's weird. Yours is working better, by the way. Dude, I just realized some gray hair going on.
Just now?
Yeah.
Holy crap, buddy. I've had it go for a while now. He points it out to me all the time.
Oh, yeah? She's like, Daddy, you're old.
No, she just sat there and she's like, your hair's white. And I was like, do you know how I got that white hair? And she's like, no, how? It's like, you and Mommy.
So what you think about all the AB stuff, Kareem Hunt, this week?
Kareem Hunt, that one surprises me more than anything. Just because, well, speed no big deal, but to have the week, it's like, come on, you've already got, you're already out there as being a big guy, however you want to put it, But it's like, you gotta be smart about that crap.
But isn't medical legal here?
Yes.
So then he's not even breaking the law.
Huh?
Maybe he's got a card. They confiscated it, so it's not like he did anything illegal. I'm just terrified the NFL is gonna throw a hammer down for something stupid.
I mean, he might get a game, 2-game suspension. It all depends if he fails a drug test. That's the thing, which he should fail a drug test, because if he doesn't, then you got a serious problem with your drug test, because you got to with weed.
Yeah, but they're not going to what am I going to say? They're not going to. I don't think they can drug test him now. Season's over.
Or not.
I,
Season's not officially over till March.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I was listening to our good friend Pat McAfee, and the way the league, they drug test unless you're in the program, and I don't think he's in a program. Unless you're in the program, they only test until we talk about it was like basically something to like the preseason. They don't actually test during the season unless you're in the program.
Or you do something spectacular.
But I don't think this was. I guess I think I don't, and that's not even me being a Browns homer. I don't even see this as a spectacular thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I agree with McAfee. That's probably the way it is.
Well, I mean, he played in the league and went through the process.
Yeah, but he's never been busted during the season with weed.
Yeah, in the program.
He was in the program. I understand, but I'm saying, like, he was never not in the program and speeding down the road and get busted with weed in the car. You know, you don't know. The NFL turn around and give him a drug test. Like, it's all, you know, they have no set rules for themselves. They don't even follow the set rules they got anyways.
Okay, yeah. No, I can't argue with fact.
So it's the Kareem Hunt thing that shocked me because, like I said, you would think he'd be on his best behavior. Because I mean, no matter what, someone's still going to sign him. Whether or not it's in Cleveland, it doesn't matter. Someone's going to sign him. You know, obviously, I know you want to re-sign him, but for him, he's going to get signed. He had a good enough year where this isn't going to do anything. It's not like they busted him in speed and he had drugs and a girl handcuffed in the trunk. So, you know, he doesn't know that we know of. But so I was like, that does. It's just shocking, but anything big is going to happen from it. The AB thing just keeps getting crazier, and the only thing is like with Rosenhaus not saying he's not present him, that he needs to get help and this and that. The biggest thing is like, I hope after that video that he posted his Instagram, bro, we're after, because he's such a great guy that he posted a video where he's yelling and cussing and calling cop names and throwing bags of gummy dicks at him. Then he tell you he respects the law, and it's like, yeah, we respect the law just like you respect women. Not that good. So I just hope his kids aren't with him no more, because the way this is going, him not getting help, like farther until like he keeps getting worse until something really bad happens.
Yeah.
So I just hope the kids are not with him no more, because that's like the thing I'm afraid I'm going to end up seeing.
I actually 100% agree with you on this. I've heard people today on sports radio saying that 100% this wasn't anything to do with like things CTE related, and unfortunately we can't test to know that. But come on, I understand this guy had problems, but I feel like it's progressing at an aggressive rate. And, and to say that 100% that this isn't anything to any kind of CTE deal, I don't buy that. I feel like, unfortunately, I think this is going to black mark on the league if something does happen to him where he offs himself, or when he does die, they go, "Whole shit, this guy has like he was crazy bad."
Yeah.
Now you have all this like the problem is like before we didn't have like all this negative video evidence. Like you think about like Junior Seau and guys like that in public, they were like normal shit. Not a lot of issues, not a lot of concerns. I mean, I think behind the scenes, people, hey, there was some depression issues and whatnot. But with him, like, it is hardcore. And now Eric came back in. Oh, there he is. I said, but him, it's like hardcore, proof that how quickly.
I cannot hear you guys. Shit, what is wrong with this? What? Like this website, dude, I think. Like, I can't, like, you guys aren't even displaying, like, there's not even an option for sound in, like, this top one, and you guys are unmuted. Like, this is weird, and I'm using my Ethernet cable and everything, so I'll just jump back on him with my phone, but this is really bizarre that this doesn't work on the computer. I don't know why.
I don't know either, buddy. Disconnect Eric. It was good talking to him. No, but I mean, like this is really bad for the NFL, and I don't think they realize just how bad it is.
Yeah, and what was I gonna say? Oh, like there was that article that I put in our Twitter group with that ESPN article about his problems in college and stuff like that. He's definitely got a mental health issue, a mental illness, which is not helping him. Like all that stuff that they talk about that they had to deal with at Michigan and like the high school, and then those stories you heard about the Steelers, that was before the CTE and before that Burfitt hit. After that Burfitt hit, everything ramped up like there was no tomorrow. Like then nowhere close to what it used to be. Like if you come in and you're like bipolar, because that's what it seems like, and you walk in and have an up day, you have a down day, this and you're used to that stuff. But then all of a sudden you start throwing furniture out or condo or whatever in Miami, almost smash a kid, and then like supposedly, he's accused of jerking off on his trainer while she's in church on the internet, and then like this whole thing with the cops and his baby mom and the kid, all that stuff. Like it's just that's not having an up and down. You're just going to go cry in the corner or you're the happiest person alive day. It's just completely different.
I know. I 100% agree. This is.
Yeah, I'm going to dip out of this conversation. I cannot stand talking to Antonio Brown anymore. It's media's fault that he's gone crazy, being completely honest with you. Because they just keep giving this guy coverage. Like, please do. Like, let him just problems with the law, and I hope he stop reporting on this stuff because it's enabling him. Like, he's a narcissist who likes the attention, and the national media, ESPN, gives a blurb every time he does something. You don't think Antonio Brown's eating that stuff up? He totally is. I don't know, man.
Posting it live on his own stuff. Like, you can't blame the media for him posting. He's doing it to himself. Of course, the media is going to talk about.
Right. But I don't think you understand the point. Like, the media is helping into this, like, obsession of his.
I think he's got CTE and he's falling off the deep end. But anyways, let's move on to bigger and brighter stuff. I feel like this is going to spiral in an ugly spot. Frick. And then see, I just went brain dead.
Hey, so Pierce, can I ask you ask you a technical question?
You can ask.
Is there an app for what you're using?
There is. It's Wirecast.
Do they have like a free version? Maybe that's it. Maybe I just need to be on the.
I think the Windows app. I don't know. I haven't checked. But let's get to. I'm sure everybody doesn't hear about our technical issues. We have some answers. Then please come on in.
Yeah, I'm sorry about.
You're good, buddy. So Eric, I haven't had the chance to ask you. So
I'm just really.
You're killing me.
Never mind. I'm really frustrated that my computer will not play the sound from these video clips. Because I think it would work just fine. We can see you guys and the timing's perfect, but like I cannot hear you. So
we can hear you just fine too. That's the funny thing.
Maybe I could try a different browser.
The thing is, we can hear you just fine.
Maybe I should try a different.
Well, let's get through this. How about we get through this?
I should try a different browser.
How about we get this so you don't have to keep bouncing in and out?
Sorry.
No, so I wanted to ask, and I actually was hoping to ask Brian too. So I know last year, you know how hardcore I was into the Alliance, right? And XFL's fast approaching.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin and I have picked our sides. And hopefully we have a Houston-Washington championship so we could shit hardcore. But so with the way this league, a lot of your problems with the Alliance was the website was basically how to watch it. things like that. And the XFL seems to have done a really nice job with, having channels, being on programs that are accessible to the majority of people. I think their website's for what the information you want's there. And we'll see how they do with stat upkeeps and things like that. I think it's going to be much better since McMahon does have a membership in FanDuel. So FanDuel's going to be handling their daily fantasy end of that. What are you thinking about the XFL as it approaches here in a few weeks? Are you more optimistic than you were last about the Alliance?
Probably. I think it's really, really because just really tough for me because there's no team here in Salt Lake, so I'm having a really hard time getting connected to it. But part of the reason I really like the AAF was the locality aspect of it, and there was a chance for me to go to games and see semi-professional football being played. XFL, I liked some of the rules. I saw some of the rules a little while back. I really like some rules. I hope the NFL adopts some of the rules, especially their kickoff rules. I think are really, really interesting. But I just, it's nothing against the XFL. I wish them nothing but the best for their success, but it's really just not my jam. I'm just kind of and especially now, it's not like a brag or anything, but I work in kind of sport media here in Salt Lake. I just got so many to pay attention to in February, like Jazz and Bees will get started here pretty soon. So it's really just I don't have time for league, and I mean, sure, if it gets really good reviews, I'll probably tune in for a game or two, but I'm not going to be a diehard NFL fan from day one.
I said last year when the AAF died that I would not, but I died because I'm in so deep. I can't wait to February 8th. I'm going to try to do a roundtable podcast after the Super Bowl before the league starts. At the point, I'd love to get some people on the. I'm excited. I love football year round. I like the rules. I'm just pumped. I can't wait. I'm hoping it doesn't break my heart and at least makes the entire season. Because I am trying to figure out, Kevin, I still think we should try to go to that Defender in Washington. Just a day trip. Your wife goes and gets purses. Isn't that a long trip for that purse trip every year?
Yeah, but
fair trade-off.
Listen, if I was a fan, of it. If I was of any team at a BDC Defenders, just because I don't know if you guys listen to Part of My Take. I listened to Part of My Take for TFT commenter and got a tryout for their team. So as a kicker, and it was pretty hilarious. And he did actually okay. And I think he's going to get signed to the practice squad. So sure, that's my team. I'll be a DC Defenders fan.
Oh, no, Kevin, your team just got worst. What is that? What's I'm thinking about here? Bad luck charm. It's going to be the curse. Yeah, no. The curse of Eric now. Neck Nation is getting pretty hyped about what's up on February 8th. I hopefully have a TV by then so I can watch the games. It's not having TV stuff. So here's the deal. I live in Salt Lake anymore where I technology at fingertips everywhere, or I can go things next, every 2 feet. I'm kind of out in the boonies, so not having a television. I've been doing a lot of reading this week. In my chair because it broke, so I've had to sit in my couch, which isn't as comfortable. It's a rough week for like I said, base camp too. And what sucks is shows come out, The Ranch came out today, the last season of The Ranch. I don't know if you've started that at all, but I've been trying to watch some of it on my phone. It's not the same.
I've been trying to finish the Aaron Hernandez thing before I start that.
What do you hear?
Okay, show The Ranch. What's the premise again?
I can't explain the price. You just have to go watch it. I highly recommend it. I would say
we're
you
gonna
probably won't like it. I don't think you have a good sense of humor. But
Okay.
we'll see. I would definitely check it out. I don't know what kind of stuff you watch. I think it's good.
Oh, is it a comedy?
It's
Yeah.
I mean, there's some drama in it, but yeah, mostly all it's a comedy, and it's hilarious. A lot of swear words, so
Oh, that's good. I like comedy.
I don't know
I'll check it out then.
if you're rooming with like a super churchy person, so I wouldn't say it's appropriate for that room, but outside of that,
Oh, dude, I don't. Shit. My room is the ski bum who is never in this room.
how is
I pretty
dorm
much
life?
live a
How
low
is
life.
dorm life to the guy who really decided to live in a dorm 5 from his house?
It's just so much nicer living alone. I love independence.
But it's not really independence if your parents are paying for it. Like, right?
Okay, fine, whatever, Pierce. Thanks for. I'm sorry I can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm not an affluent full-time employee. I'm sorry I'm trying to get a bachelor's degree and working part-time weekends, early mornings at a radio station. I have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning tomorrow to get to work. So it's not like it's all cakewalks and candy canes for Eric Jensen.
I love Garrett crap, and I haven't got to do it in such a long time. No, it's probably good to get out of parents' house. I lived on campus caused a lot of ruckus. Turns out you're allowed to show up. This is my favorite part about college this time around. You're allowed to show up to class drunk. You don't actually have to get dressed. I showed up in pajamas. I showed up in some stuff, man. College was awesome. I didn't do well. The grades definitely sucked. But the fact that you could show up hammered made it a lot easier, because then I could go out and party till 4 or 5 and then take like a 7 a.m. class and show up just piss-ass drunk. But living the good times anymore. I'm sure I would have hurt somebody's micro
What's a
feelings.
strategy?
So let's get on to the big game.
That's certainly not my style.
Yeah, I know. I liked having fun. I'm sorry.
I actually had a question.
Well, it'll be the first one today. I'm actually surprised you've tried. I don't know if it's your technical difficulties or what, but you've tried fewer times than ever to take over the show today, and I don't know if I'm impressed or scared.
Listen, we could talk about the Super Bowl. I just figured you might talk about that next week. If you're looking for another topic, I thought I heard this on another guest earlier this week, and I thought it was kind of interesting. Like, other players who are playing right now that we think are Hall of Famers. But if I
That
don't
are
want to
playing right now?
I'm trying not to do that.
No, you
So if we talk
try to
about-
hijack this show every
Yeah.
time you're on. You should just your name here from ECJ.
I'm trying.
It should be called the Hijacker. But we're accustomed to it. We work around it. That's what we do. I don't know. What about you, Kevin? You know any currents? Now, are we talking that are like lockdown, or players that we're just think that are going to make it?
I think players that you think are gonna make it. Very opinionated question. Leaves it open debate.
I don't know. What do you think, Kevin?
I mean, there's plenty of players, I believe, that are going to be.
I hate to admit it, but I think Big Ben's going to get in. I honestly think he deserves it. He's one of the guys I think deserves it, because I'll argue that Big Ben altered kind of the idea of a quarterback in ways in the league. The way he can affect people at that size has just always been impressive. I think he's got the ring. He's got 2 rings, doesn't he?
He's got 2, yeah.
I think here's the deal. I think I would put him in 100% before I put Eli in. I hate the Steelers and I hate Big Ben because, well, he takes
Oh yeah, no doubt.
advantage of women sexually. But
Allegedly.
let me quote it. Allegedly.
There you go. And that's gonna be the only reason he's not a first ballot Hall of Fame.
So is that when the more girls start coming out when he's about to go to the Hall? I'm not even saying that he legitimately happened, but and it's a better time to drop a bomb though before you're about to recognize a guy for a lifetime achievement award in his craft. I think Big Ben. Here's the thing: I think guys like Philip Rivers. I don't think Philip Rivers is a Hall of Famer.
I don't either. I mean, he's a good player, but I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
I think if you put Eli in the Hall of Fame, you got to put Philip Rivers in.
Well, yeah,
Philip Rivers.
Eli's got the Super Bowl.
Outside of the Super Bowls, Philip Rivers has had a way better career than Eli Manning has.
Yeah, I agree, but I mean, he's only been to the playoffs 2 or 3 times. Well, I mean, Eli, but at least Eli's won when he's won.
Just because you're trapped on a bad team that has terrible injury and is arguably incompetent in build team for the first 10 or so years of your existence there, doesn't mean you're not a Hall of Fame.
Well, kind of does, but
no. But I think this goes back to what we talked.
I mean, if Rivers changes his last name to Manning,
here's the thing. I think this goes back to what we talked about earlier. I think that he'll get. I think all these guys talking about will get in because that's the way the league is set up now, right? The mystique is through ESPN more than actual on field, or better change that you've made to the league or your value to the league in general. So I think all these guys get in. I just don't think Philip Rivers should be in. I don't think Eli Manning. I think Drew Brees will get in, but I don't think he's a first balloter. And then
really,
struggle with this.
Whoa,
I do not.
He's got the stats. I mean,
he's got all the time he retires, he will have legitimately a passing record.
Oh, here's the thing. I'm okay to be wrong. I'm okay, change my mind. I'm open to. I'm not locked in on that. We're talking about it right now. I think he's a Hall of Famer. I have to me, honestly, it would be okay with me if it went a couple of years even where guys there wasn't enough guys to get in. I think being a Hall of Famer should be the highest of the highs. You should be. I'm going to say it Tom Brady, the best quarterback of his generation. That guy should be a lockdown Hall of Famer. He not only has the rings, whether you believe he got them.
Here's a question.
Go ahead.
No, finish your thought.
You already interrupted me. I mean, you're already in now, buddy.
Sorry, this lag is fucking me up.
Okay, we'll get through it. What was your question? I've lost the passion.
Okay, so we both agree Tom Brady's in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting guy, Aaron Rodgers. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, he will be.
He will be. I would argue no. What did he do to that? He did his teams better. He didn't take his team to the promised land. He's going to have great numbers, but his numbers aren't going to be generational. They're going to be people who have better numbers than he has. So what did he do? And this is where, if we're being completely honest, I want to be hardcore about it. I would, since so many fewer players would get in under my expectations of what a Hall of Famer should be. And so, again, do I think Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback? Yes. Do I think he is one of the best, in the last 12 plus years? Probably. But does that make him one of the greatest all time? No. But there are guys in there now who I would probably would. I don't think Dan Marino should be in the Hall of Fame.
What?
Yeah, I don't think Dan Marino's a Hall quarterback.
What? Yeah, what?
That's
Yeah, I know. This is why Matt Pearce.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
too.
see?
Hey, real quick though, on the Favors thing, you were talking about how he had teams and all that stuff. Only for his 13 years as a starter, he's only had 14 seasons, and it took him 7 years before he had a losing season. Like, he's had good teams. They just can't win in the playoffs.
Well,
Kind
you
of like Lamar Jackson, overrated.
and you should know that, Eric, because since I've known you pretty much, all I hear is before the beginning is San Diego Chargers this, Los Angeles Chargers that. This is the year.
Yeah, I know.
Hashtag respect
I know.
the Chargers.
I know.
It goes beside hashtag respect
know.
whoever's playing quarterback. Oh, I just had a crazy. Is Cam Newton going to be the quarterback of the Denver Broncos next?
It's gonna be Carolina, I can tell you that much.
I don't. I don't think I think they have Drew Lock, and I think that's a little. Some of them, if somehow, some way, there was like, if ever, like a adjustable to the Broncos 15, which I just don't think is gonna happen. I would probably
Herbert
take one
should
of
be
them.
there.
I think Drew Lock's good. I just don't know what he is. I think they are gonna try to surround him with a ton of talent and hope this thing works out, basically.
Well, if you don't know what he is, why would you already abandon? You're not the Cleveland Browns yet. I mean, you're working on being the Cleveland Browns, but why would you give up on a quarterback that you really don't know because he missed majority of it from an injury? And, I mean, at the end of the year, he's not looking too bad.
Right, and that's my point. So, he made some goals. He looked good, but I don't know if he's like the be all end all answer. He could very much end up being like Eli Manning and being extremely average. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I can totally see an Eli type career for Drew Lock, but I mean, I wouldn't do that because if you surround him with enough talent, I think he could take the team to the playoffs 3 times.
You got to have a stellar defense for that to work. 'Cause, I mean, that's the only reason Peyton got his last Super Bowl. Peyton Manning was horrible last year. If it wasn't for that defense, Broncos don't win a Super Bowl.
You're not going to get any arguments from me, and I'm the big Manning fan ever. Like,
I like him
last
too,
year was
but
terrible. But
I mean,
that second Super Bowl was all the defense.
are we allowed to hate Peyton Manning? I mean, the guy is. I just can't do
He's
it.
got a mile high forehead. He fit perfect in Denver.
I'm saying I can't hate him. Like not only was he phenomenal on the field, right, but off the field, I think he's even better. Like we need more athletes like Peyton Manning. Like it's hard to hate that. I did want to bring it up since Eric decided to bring Browns, which I don't know if you guys noticed. I have avoided pretty much the entire show outside of a quick cream hunt.
Hey, I didn't bring up the Browns.
You said Browns.
Yeah, I did.
I did not say anything about the Browns.
It was triggered.
I want that record.
So George pulls out of running for the GM spot. I think Cleveland's starting to get kind of the rejections from quality people because they've proven to be a crappy organization from the top. And like Kevin talked about this a couple of weeks ago, is
because the Podesta manager.
What's that?
Isn't that? Am I wrong in saying that? The Podesta, the general manager. You want to be the general manager?
He's the analytic guy.
The owner has made it clear that the actual general manager is Paul DePodesta. Paul basically made the move to move on from John Dorsey because they wanted to give Paul DePodesta more power. Why not just name Paul DePodesta the GM? Because no one wants to work as the GM if you're going to have power, and Paul DePodesta is clearly the GM.
Yeah, I hate to agree with Eric, but I think I get a valid point here. The ownership in Cleveland has, for whatever reason, they're all about PD. I can never say his name right. I call him Paul. Paul, for whatever reason, has, I don't know if he's got naked pictures of the Haslam on a beach somewhere. What's going on? But this guy has a lot of pull in Cleveland with little success to proven from it. The fact that we did go away from Dorsey after building one of the best lineups this team has seen, the best lineup this team has seen since coming back. Yeah, but I think we're going to have a hard time. Like I said, I think it's a reason why we have the coach we have, which, by the way, Eric, I think was a mistake hiring that coach. I don't think he's the right guy. Overall, another fail by Cleveland. And I think more
Should have been Eric Bieniemy.
No, I disagree. I like the defensive coordinator from the 49ers. That's I thought it should be. Or McDaniels, but I knew they were going to go with the restructuring that McDaniels wanted, and he wouldn't have been. McDaniels wouldn't have been first picked. The 49ers defensive coordinator would have been my first pick, but I think McDaniels is from a situation that I would like to he could have done inside this.
I still stick to my guns. It's all karma. Until Art Modell gets into the Hall of Fame, the Bills are going to be horrible.
Kevin.
And they're going to keep horrible people.
Don't bring that shit to my shit. Come on now.
Hey,
Art, you said his name. You even
ago.
said his name. Like,
hey, he's the best owner the Browns have had.
no, the owner died. He didn't get a real chance. Al Lerner was a good owner. Al Lerner was a good owner. You think about, like, we had winning ways. We were on the process. We were on a decent path with him. I think he was a good owner. He passed away, R.I.P. Mr. Lerner. I have a hard time taking away what that piece of shit did for the league, Monday Night Football. But the fact that he was a whiny little bit and took our team, I'll never forgive it. Here's the deal. You can't, if you put in a Hall, you have to do it almost in the season night like he to take Cleveland away from Ohio, the Browns. Because there's no way, dude, that's going to be a shit show. Any Hall of Fame, posthumously or not, it's going to be a complete chaos down Manhattan.
Hey, that's they need to do it big. He needs to be the main one. He's got to have the biggest poster outside the stadium.
They'll burn the place to the ground.
And then you got to make sure they have 2 Super Bowls on the side to show it. Be like, see what happens when he left.
I've never done this before, but I have to mute for 10 seconds. This is ridiculous. That's where the show has gone. I bring Eric on for the first time in months, and the show just goes completely like chaos.
Interesting modern day juxtaposition. I get why bitter about the Browns leaving the first.
Bitter?
Here's my question for you. Why are Browns fans so bitter about it? Because the Vegas Raiders did the exact same thing, and their fans are following them from Oklahoma. Embraced this as like the greatest thing ever. Like, they don't seem pissed off at all that the team was lost.
Well, Oakland's not going to get a
Browns
team.
fans who have a team feel so badly that they lost this team a while back. Why? I just don't understand.
Eric, I will never. Go ahead,
Am I
Kevin.
unmuted?
Yeah, you're.
I was going to say, one, Oakland's not going to get it again unless the Raiders go back. So that's why they got up, because they followed them to L.A. also. The Ravens won a Super Bowl 2-3 years after they left Cleveland. That added insult to injury. Then when they got the Browns, they got the Browns. So that's why they're so pissed off.
All I'm saying is the Oakland Raiders never went to Congress to try to save that team from leaving. We're the reason why he couldn't take the name with him. Like this, I can't even begin to explain or put into words the reason that hate is so deep. And yes, we did a new version of the Browns, which has been ugly outside of a couple of years with Derek Anderson and talk about the end of last year. It is not even comparable. And I'm actually really excited for the Vegas Raiders. Which that's all them now, right? They're officially the Vegas Raiders now, right? When the season is over. All right, so I'm hot for the Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, they just put out like a social media.
Eric, I'm thinking next year you should come to Ohio and come out to the draft down Canton, I'm going to be there. Evan, you're going to be there. It's going to be nuts. We're going to build bridges through the draft.
I was honestly thinking. I was honestly they close to Vegas. Maybe heading down there for draft time, but I'm worried it might be the same date as like my finals for my class.
How important are finals? Not important at all.
Maybe Cleveland would be an option.
Cleveland's going to be awesome. I think we've talked about it, right?
It depends. If
the NFL failed here, the draft should have Cleveland this year. So another big fail. Tennessee was also in the draft strong, but I think they would have just as good next year or the year after. Cleveland should have been the host city.
Ridiculous.
Huh?
Vegas is going to be ridiculous. Have you seen what they're rolling out already? They have the red carpet. They're going to have the red carpet stage set up in the Bellagio fountains. And if you walk the red carpet, they're going to boat you onto it so you can walk across. And then have a stage set up at Caesar and by the Ferris.
Yeah, I suddenly go to Vegas.
yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
I was
originally planned on going, and then you got a job in Ohio. I had a second kid.
Yeah, that changed that plan up hard. Especially because
Yes, it did.
a couple before the draft, I'll be moving my family, or after the draft, I'll be moving my family to Ohio, so my funds are being reallocated to more important things at this point. I am glad to be back in Ohio, though, as much as I miss Utah.
All right, I actually, yeah, well, it's not the greatest, but it has its charms. Pierce, I've got to go to bed in like 20 minutes, so I am going peace out here. But potentially, I will be back on because I'm going to try this one more time in a different browser on my computer with my Ethernet cord. But if not, good night all. Pierce, thank you for having me on. The discussion was delightful as always.
See you later, Eric. We'll talk to you again, I'm sure.
See you later.
Always an adventure with Eric, as you guys know. We'll see if he pops back on. Yeah, I'm sad we can't. I'm looking forward to the one in Cleveland next year.
Yeah, I've already told Miranda taking Friday off because I'm planning on going first round.
This guy, honey, it's happening. 100% happening. Let's see, get him back on here. What do you think? You think he's gonna?
He's gonna try. Whether or not he gets on or not, it's a different story.
You know what? Here's the thing I love about Eric. There's a lot of things that make me want to wring his neck on a regular basis, but persistence. I gotta say, if he has anything going for him in this world, he's a persistent little guy.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. I found him. And this is, I can't hear you. I can't see you. Nothing's working. I don't understand. Well, there's an app he could download on Windows. About 99.
See, I just go through email. Like, I don't have anything downloaded for this.
Yeah.
Zoom, I had to download an app.
Yeah, and yours works fine every time. If usually, unless I make a mistake, which I'm thinking happens a lot of the time. Well, I don't think he's coming back on. I can't see the. So what do you
I'll
got
sign
going
back
on?
on his phone just to say bye.
Yeah. All right, guys. Just want to let you know. See you next time. What do you got for us today? Anything, Kevin?
Here's the question I was thinking about. I know I texted you last night to see if you were watching the QB challenge because Lamar Jackson looked.
Yeah, I was working
Like,
when you texted
He
me.
does. He's not that good of a quarterback. So, how come? I have my reason why I believe this. So I want to see what yours is. Then I'll tell you what I think. If it's not the same, how come he seems mostly unstoppable in the regular season, but when it comes to the playoff, he's easily stopped?
I think I don't know. I think it'd be a head thing. But I also think you think about the playoffs, man. You got to usually have they're 100% focused in a totally different way. I think we both know that football is just different. And there a lot of teams. There's just they won't show you during the regular season. I think New England is famous for that they will run completely different schemes during the regular season just so you never see what they got coming for you in the playoffs. And I think it gets. I don't think Heath Lee can handle the hype of the game. I think he's Peyton Manning in college, right? Great through their season, can't do nothing with the playoffs. Off season, bowl games, whatever you want to call it. That's my thought. Why? What is your thought?
Kind of the same, but I mean, I don't really think, in my opinion, I don't think it's that much of a mental thing. I think during the playoffs, you got next week if you lose. We're regular season, if you got a good enough team, you can win a game or two and you can make it. But and I just think too many teams are just worried about trying to shut down one thing, which I believe is what you do to beat the Ravens, stop Lamar Jackson. Because if you stop the run, and especially if you're stopping the run and you get lead, he's not coming back to beat you from passing. He's horrible at passing.
Well, he's passing when he has to actually stand there and throw the ball.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you stop the run, he has to throw. But if you got to worry about him running, throwing, it makes it so much easier for him to throw because you got so many people watching him to run. It looked like Tennessee. I mean, the DBs were playing awesome, but they were going all out to stop the run and completely shut the run down. They were already up 14-0. So 20-0, 21-3, whatever it was, it just kept mounting, and it's more pressure on him. Because, I mean, truthfully, as much as I don't like Brady as a quarterback as he is, if you pressure him, because Peyton Manning was the same way for the long time. If you can pressure him, he's not good under pressure.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just you got to be able to sell out to put the pressure on him. Because if you can't pressure him, then you just screw yourself.
I think that's the case for most quarterbacks. If you can make them uncomfortable, everything drops radically. Decision making, completion percentage, and then like you said, if you make them so they have to be a one football team, or you take away the ability to run, and it just quickly starts to limit their options. You got a kid who's young, still fairly inexperienced, and has had the ability to kind of be very fortunate that every chip kind of fell away this year. And that's not me hating on him. I give him nothing but respect for the year he had. But I wasn't that surprised that it went the way it did once it kind of started south.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't handle them winning another Super Bowl. Obviously, Cleveland. And just with emotion.
I couldn't do Lamar Jackson winning a Super Bowl.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. So I'm gonna
my favorite thing after they lost, I still love the Titans tight end making fun of Mark Ingram. That was like the greatest thing. And like Derrick Henry's coming up, and it's just like he's just laughing, and then he knows he's got to say something because it's gonna get ugly. And I just love how he's like, it's all in him.
No, I thought that was.
Oh yeah, I thought that was great because that thing's so annoying. It's just like, all right, buddy. It's like, calm down. It's like, you don't think he's a good passer? Yeah, we know he's not a good passer. Why do you think you're doing so good at running the freaking ball?
Yeah, I wish, honestly, talk about the post-game stuff, I wish more teams did that. The NFL would be a little bit more fun if they didn't take themselves so seriously and they had fun a little bit and they talked a little bit of shit at the game.
Yeah.
You know what actually got me is completely talk about stuff after the game. Rivers' post-game press conference, man, that shit almost made me cry. That guy, it reminded me of, or maybe it wasn't post-game, maybe it was like the day. But basically when he was like, I gave everything, I knew that I give everything I could to this city. And he was just so passionate, the guy's crying. It reminded me of the Tim Tebow speech when he lost that game, and he's like, came back afterwards, you're going to see a leader, no other greater leader than I'm about to lead this team. We're not going to let this happen. And he got all passionate about it. Man, you don't get much talk like that, players. That shit had me all worked up. We'll talk about that in third tomorrow. got a new therapist. That's fun. Get a therapist is like dating. Like, I gotta feel them out. So we're going to consider this like us going on our second date tomorrow. And our first date, it was all right. Good conversation. We'll see. I haven't started dropping the F-bomb yet. And with my last therapist, she swore more than I did, I think, or at least equally as much. Very comfortable. I could just go in there and like just literally my mind. And so I'm like, we'll see how, like, tomorrow I imagine a little bit more free with this one and see if those like looks of uncomfortable when I start dropping swear words or talking about how frustrated I was. I found a new porn site this week. It's really pissed me off. Hate that, dude. I had the same porn for like 5 years, and then all of a sudden they changed how their thumbnails are, and it really fucked me up mentally. So I had to go on a hunt for a new porn site. So now, not only do I not have a TV, not only does my chair break, but also I don't even have like the porn I've come to, to understanding how to filter it properly to get to the things I want to see. This is, again, Basecamp 2 is not going well this week. I did have my first by myself with my crew. I'm completely efficient, out of training.
That's good.
And we'll see. They hate me, I'm pretty sure. And I think I'm more aggressive on staying on top of things like breaks. Like, that's my big thing right now. Is like there's a set standard. So these guys, check out, they get 90 minutes of breaks, dude. Could you imagine getting 30-minute breaks a day?
Crazy.
Yeah.
You guys are working 12 shifts.
Even at ATI when we worked 12 shifts, we got 30. I've never seen 3 30-minute breaks. But somehow these guys still need a bunch of extra breaks. It drives me nuts. Beyond nuts. So, like, that's the thing I've been hammering. And every time I just go in the break room, like, I'm supposed to be on break. And they're like, son of a bitch. Like, I know they just dating like, oh, he's one. The guy's going to get that forklift. I see it coming. It's good. I'm not making friends, but I told my boss, I was like, it's okay. I was like, one of my best friends in the whole world, he'll say that's probably to work with. I take some getting used to. It's like, they'll figure me out. But I'm consistent. I'm an asshole all the time, so hopefully that helps. I'm hoping that helps me in the long run. They're like, yeah, he's a dick, but he's always a dick to it, same way to everybody.
Yeah.
We'll see. What about you? You been to any movies or anything?
I went and saw Bad Boys last week.
Was that good? I'll go see that.
I liked it. I liked the Bad Boy movies, but I liked it. I like they did it. The way they ended it, they set for a fourth, and then I'd already read by Monday that they did good enough box office that they already greenlit the fourth one.
I read
the
mid scene. I read about the mid-credit scene, and we're not going to spoil it, but I read about that.
Yeah.
So I kind of know what's coming, which I'm a little upset about, but I couldn't help myself. And plus the movie theater's like 35 minutes or something. So I think I'm going to go to Mafia Therapy and drop the $5 to go to the movie. But I do want to see. I've liked the first two, and I think it'd be cool if it got green, especially being so long in between. But yeah, it made $100 million in the first weekend, and it was double what they anticipated it making.
Yeah, because a lot of people were expecting Doc Doolittle to do good, and it bombed.
It bombed bad.
Yes, it's bad enough where he's thinking about coming back to be an Iron Man.
It cost something like $175 million to make that movie. And they made like $30 million box office on the opening weekend. And you know how it is movies, right? Now you only get 1 or 2 weekends. 3 if you're something like Endgame, like the Avengers. You may get 3 more weekends. Star Wars, but everything else, you're 2 or 3 weekends and you're out. You know, you've made walk your money.
Yeah, because there's something else that's going to come out that's going to push you to the side. So,
well, especially this year. We were talking about this the other day. This year's like going to be nuts movies. You got Bad Boys came out. You have Black Widow, but you have Gun 2 coming out.
James Bond.
Yeah, this is going to be like awesome for movies. Fast and the Furious, whether you're a fan of that or not, I happen to be the Fast and Furious.
Oh, it's this year?
Yeah. April.
Okay, I wasn't sure. All right, yeah, I still haven't got to watch the Hobbs and Shaw thing. But,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You should watch
I've
that.
I've been trying on that thing that we got, but
Does yours have moved? Oh, yeah. No, oh, man. I wish I have one. So yeah, I'll talk to you afterwards. Um,
okay.
yeah. You know, speaking of that, I think I don't have anything else for today.
I think so. I knew I wanted to make sure I got my shit, Lamar Jackson.
You're already
I'm
too
good.
embarrassed to wear your defender's hat. I can see. I'm
Oh,
trying to
no.
wait to the end of the football season.
It's it's the NHL All Star Week.
All right. So is Vegas squad?
Well, they're my one conference. Pens are my team, but when they got a Vegas squad, I'm interested. I love Vegas, and then Fleury went there, and I've always been a huge Fleury fan. Like I was upset when England let him go. It's like I understood why, but I was upset. And then he's been doing really good in Vegas still, so I was like, that'll be my Western Conference.
I
But
like it.
surprisingly, back in the day, in the '90s, it was the Pens and the Colorado Avalanche because I really like Patrick.
Avalanche. No, I'm a Columbia Jack. I only have one team for every sport. I feel like it's hairy to have multiple teams. Now I like that. Like you have. You said you bought a Seahawks jersey.
Yeah.
So I respect other players. I don't think I could ever buy a Steelers jersey. I really don't think because it would have been a Polamalu jersey. But,
Oh, hey, you brought him up. How about he's a finalist for a Hall of Fame, and the way I've listened to shows talk, like they sit there and like a lot of them seem like they don't think he's gonna make it. How is Polamalu not a first ballot Hall of Famer?
yeah, because I'd argue he's one. You talk about like what my standards would be. He would fall that. He changed the game.
Yeah, that's like because they're like a lot of the stuff I've listened to, they're making it sound like gotta wait to see this and that, and it's like Ed Reed was a hell of a player. He made it ballot. There's no way Polamalu shouldn't be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Ed Reed is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm just like that's just crazy. I was like I can't figure it out.
Yeah, no, it is. I don't agree with that at all. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me. But, all right, well, I'm going to wrap this up, chat with you for a second afterwards. So, everybody, Thanks for joining with us this week. Hopefully, the sound was better. We're always going to work to continue and hope more frequent with these. I would anticipate a XFL kickoff show because I know myself and some people that I kind of follow on Twitter are really excited about it. And I would love to just kind of have a roundtable before the year, and then maybe after, just kind of a bookend to see what the XFL ended up being in year one, if it made it year one. So until next, Kevin, you have a good week. Everybody have a week, and we will see you guys